Hello, this is Josh Robb and Austin Wilson with the Hixon Zuercher Capital Management November Economic Update. We're going to be talking about October. We always do it, 1 month back. But we're going to give you 5 stories of what's gone on in the markets, as well as 5 kind of different stories just to keep you entertained and engaged.
All right, well, starting out, the equity markets in September were not so great. They generally were down. The S&P 500 returned a negative 4.65%. It's a pretty bad month. The Dow was down 4.2%. The NASDAQ down 5.27%. Small caps down 2.95%. Emerging market stocks down 3.94%. And developed international stocks down 2.88%. So not a great month for equity markets.
And historically, September is not usually a good.
Historically, September is a weak month, so it followed the trend.
All right. I'm going to rearrange my order because I just looked at your sheet and you have crypto coming up. So I have a story on that, but we'll skip that. A Turkish man was missing.
Wait, is he a turkey or a man?
A man from Turkey.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So a Turkish man was missing. He had a night of partying, and his friends thought he wandered off into the woods. So they reported missing. They got a big search party out for him. And one of the people in the search party was him. So it turns out he went to a friend's house to sleep. They didn't realize that. He woke up. Well, he woke up, walked out. A couple people were like, hey, someone's missing in the woods, come help us. So he's wandering the woods looking for himself. He only realized that when he heard people yelling his name, and he said, oh wait, that's me. And so they got it all straightened out.
They're like, gobble, 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 gobble?
Not that kind of turkey.
Oh, okay.
But you know, he is thinking of a career in hide and seek now.
I think he would win.
Yes.
I think he would win. Number 2, bond yields spiked during the month of September. The 10-year rose from about 1.3% at the beginning of the month to about 1.5% at the end of the month. That's a big move in bond yields. That's a 14.5% yield spike. And that was the result of people selling bonds as they seemed increasingly uncertain about the economy. Usually, that would be good for stocks. However, everyone was selling everything at that point.
Big sell.
So that's exactly what happened. So it did not favor stocks at that point. But what happens when yields spike is the growthier and more tech-oriented sides of the stock market are more unfavorably treated. So that's why the NASDAQ was down more than the Dow. And some of the bigger members of the Dow financials are actually helped from higher interest rates. So they were one of the better performers of the month.
All right. In Texas, and this is not new, this has happened in the past, but a man was pulled over for driving in the carpool lane without the right amount of people in his car. This time though, this being Halloween, he had a skeleton as his passenger. So a Halloween prop. Yeah. Apparently it doesn't count. They have to be a living, breathing person. So he did get a bona fide ticket from the police. And when they sent him on his way, they wished him, it's another bone joke, come on.
You're going to have to help me out.
Bon voyage.
Oh, stop.
Yes.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Classic. Yes. So I'm sure everyone, for number 3, has heard of Evergrande. It's a big dramatic thing that's happening in China, and Evergrande is one of China's largest real estate developers. They're about $38 billion in market cap. Now, after a big sell-off, they actually have been the source of a lot of drama because they have been unable to pay some of their debts, some of the bond payments that they have to make. And what that is causing people to fear is that this is a sign of a weak financial system in China, which is causing emerging markets to sell off. But thus far, it remains pretty limited to the company itself. But I told you, the company is about $38 billion in market cap. They have about $300 billion in debt. Oh, wow. So they're one of the world's most indebted companies, especially when you consider the size of the company is about 10 times the debt for the size of the company.
That's crazy. All right, COVID's going on. Obviously, it's been a while, and one of the things that has been disrupted has been weddings, right? You know, you've large group gatherings. Well, something that I didn't realize, but if you have family that's not here in the United States, getting them to come has been hard. Yeah. So this New York couple actually got married at the U.S.-Canadian border so that their parents and grandparents could watch. They stood on one side of the border and on the other because the COVID can't cross the international lines, which is pretty cool. And so, but they were able to watch it and be a part of it, which is something they've been trying to do for the year. You know what though? Border agents did have to have them declare the bouquet before they tossed it. Crossing those lines, you got to be careful.
You had to pay.
Yeah.
So make it work that way.
Yeah.
Number 4, crypto. Josh said it was coming up. It is coming up. So on September 24th, the People Bank of China, which It's called the PBOC. There's really nothing to do with the people of China. It's the Chinese government's bank. They declared that all crypto transactions were illegal. I mean, all of them. The mining, the sales, the transactions, everything. So pretty much that put the kibosh, that's my favorite word of the month. They put the kibosh on crypto, and crypto sold off 5 to 10% due to that news and have rallied back since. This is actually about the 20th time that China has outlawed Bitcoin specifically, but cryptocurrencies in general, and it really doesn't do much.
Yes. So, following the crypto news, if you're looking to invest in crypto, possibly,
or speculate.
Well, for this, it's an investment because you're taking your investment decisions from a hamster. They actually built his name is Mr. Grox, or Mr. Gox, sorry, Goxx.
Okay.
You know, that's it, yeah. And so they set up this sophisticated hamster wheel that when he runs on it, it spins through all the different crypto choices.
Yeah.
And then he has 2 tunnels, buy and sell. So when it lands on the crypto, then he runs through. You either are buying or selling those based on this hamsters. And so far, real money's involved. They haven't released. It's secret who is actually trading, but it's actually being traded. There's a Twitch account, which is you can watch. Twitch is like a streaming thing. You can watch, but his portfolio is up nearly 20% since he started trading in June. And as of September 12th, which is when this article I was reading came out, he was outperforming the overall performance of Bitcoin. He's outperforming the NASDAQ 100 and Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway stock.
Oh, yeah?
He's outperforming all of those, and he's beating the S&P 500 in that time frame. Now that's June through September, so small time frame, but this hamster, he's doing well.
Go, Gox, go.
Yeah, which means he's going to be now on Wheel of Fortune.
He's going to be on Wheel of Fortune. I get it. Number five, the federal government is the source of many people's discussions today, but specifically the fact that they are in and out of discussion of how to avoid a government shutdown. Well, really, here's what's happening. On one side, the Republicans are saying your $3.5 trillion spending and tax plan is too large, so you have to pull some of that back to get some votes to push some of this through. On the other side, the very progressive Democrats are saying, well, we want you also to make sure that we're not going to pass this $550 billion infrastructure plan unless you promise to push through this whole big plan. So both sides need to, get some sort of vote compromise because the Senate majority Democrats and the House majority Democrats need a couple votes from either the far progressive Democrats or a couple Republicans to make these bills go through without too much struggle, and they're currently not getting that.
And we're set to run out soon from all the emergency procedures that the Fed is doing.
A little bit into October, so maybe by the time this video comes out.
Yep, so that's something to keep an eye on. My last story involves a squirrel.
A squirrel, okay.
Yep. In Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah. All right. So every couple of years, these walnut trees drop a lot of those big, they're like lime-size walnuts. Yes. And those things are in season right now. And there's this poor guy who every couple of years when this goes through, he finds hundreds of these in his car. It's actually a Chevy Avalanche is what he drives. And the squirrels use that as their hiding spot. And he actually got 42 gallons worth of walnuts out of his car.
42 gallons.
42 gallons worth. I saw a picture online and it was just buckets full, and he took pictures. It's in his engine. He had to take panels off because they're just tucking them everywhere. He says he drives and he hears them rattling around. Yeah. He's moved his car, and he says there's cars closer to the trees than his. They go to his car. Oh, he said he parked it out on the street, and they still fill it up on there. So
that dude's going to be buying a garage.
Yep. And according to the squirrels, they ordered their nuts to go. That's why they put them in there. Yes.
Josh, I know that you are going to be shocked by this, but I have 6.
You have 6. You have an
I don't have just 5. So here's my bonus. And the bonus is that oil has been rallying. Oil's really around $75 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate. And that is really sharply up. In fact, oil was at 9% up in the month of September. Demand is up. Supply is down. That's causing prices to go up, and a lot of what's driving that is returning aviation demand as people are traveling more. And international travel is opening up a bit more too, so we're seeing a return to that demand level.
Oh, great. So this is Austin Wilson and Josh Rupp from Hixon Zuercher Capital Management reminding you that nothing in this video is a recommendation. Please talk to your financial advisor before making any decisions.
Maybe the walnuts.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, don't park near a tree during walnut season. Other than that, there's no financial recommendations. If you do have any questions, you can give us a call at 419-425-2400. We would love to talk with you. Until next month, we will see you then.
Have a great fall.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Josh Robb and Austin Wilson work for Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. All opinions expressed by Josh, Austin, or any guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed. There is no guarantee that the statements, opinions, or forecasts provided herein will prove to be correct. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Indices are not available for direct investment. Any investor who attempts to mimic the performance of an index would incur fees and expenses which would reduce returns. Securities investing involves risk, including the potential for loss of principal. There is no assurance that any investment plan or strategy will be successful.